Hello, people. This is episode 209, and on this episode, it is Bender and myself back in action, return to form, talking about how sexy Colonel Sanders is and a bunch of other random stuff. So download it. But before you download it, or after you download it, or I don't really care which order you do it, but I do want you, while you're on your computer, to go to indieplanet.com, look up Psychonauts Presents, buy issues 1, buy issue 2, and when issue 3 comes out, buy that as well. Because in issue 3, it's going to, well, let me digress a bit. Issue 2 features art from myself. Issue 3 will feature words written by Aaron Conaway, who's been on the show, who was on the show recently with Daniel. And Aaron Conaway, you can find any of his works on aaronconaway.me or look on Amazon for Waking the Weaver and buy his book. So go check my buddies out. From what I hear, I think maybe some of you have done that, and if you have, I appreciate it. Also, don't forget, if we're talking about comic books, always go to your local comic shop and demand, nay, stage a protest if they will not carry Butcher Queen. They should be doing it. Have a sit-in. Chain yourself to the comic rack, whatever you have to do. But make sure you get Butcher Queen into your Planet of the Dead, or Dead Planet. It's one of the two. I got the sticker beside me. I should just turn and look at it. And after that, I do want to give a big shout out to Matt F. Basler, who also is the not just noted guitar player and musician, not just world famous podcast host and rival to one Shane Presley, but also owner and proprietor and operator of let me rephrase it, Basler Screen Printing, who may end up taking care of some needs that we have. I even mentioned it in the episode. So big shout out to him. It would be awesome to have him back on the episode one day. And other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I'm just going to this was a fun episode for me and Bender. I don't know how it's going to come across as you listening to it, but we actually had a pretty good time just going crazy on pop culture stuff, which is kind of what we started this podcast for. So I don't know. You be the judge and make that judgment after you've listened to the episode. Will come immediately following this explosion right now. Speaking of refrigerator trucks, we have a new refrigerator, oven, dishwasher, and microwave coming here in the next few weeks, probably.
That's exciting.
That was Missy's unofficial Christmas present. Like, it wasn't a Christmas present. It was just kind of spur of the moment, but we ordered it all. What do you got there? Yeah, narrow gauge.
It's a narrow gauge fresh beer. It's just like a lager. It's okay. It's
I'm going to first off, I'm going to say we are back. And second, I'm going to say...
I said it wrong.
No, I'm just going to... I don't know how you pronounce it.
Fresh?
Well, it's Frisch's. It's Frisch's. It's Frischches Bier. Bier. So it's...
Fresh beer.
I'm going to take a drink while you chit-chat.
Yeah, you can have the rest of that. It's fine. It's very middle of the road. If Bud Light was better, it'd be that.
I can't remember where we were at recently, but we were somewhere where there was a slew of people that were, it was a brewery. I was in a brewery or something. It might have been Beer Sauce Shop.
It had to be on this side of the river.
And people at the table next to me that were really worried about they were kind of mentioning people wearing masks and like, hey, not enough people are wearing masks. People are doing this. And they were really, talking about COVID, and then they were swapping beers. Hey, try this. I'm like, okay, well, I think, hey, I don't mind your stance.
Yeah.
But if you're going to stay on that hill, you better
die on it.
Be a flag bearer for that hill. Don't be a hypocrite. But with that said, though, we're back after about a 2-week hiatus. We're back to a normal episode. It's me and you, Bender.
Yeah, it was Jay, and then
Then I had AC and Daniel on.
Thanks. Yeah. I was trying to remember their nicknames.
Yeah, very good episode. And
I listened to it.
The best thing I could say about that episode in terms of what it accomplished is AC said his Patreon had a bump in subscribers. Nice. So I'm just going to assume we did it.
Yeah. I mean, what else would you assume?
And Daniel also posted that number 2 of his comic, which you can find on indieplanet.com. Psychonauts Presents is outselling number 1. So
can I do a slight complaint about IndiePlanet's website? It is not easy to navigate on a phone.
Mobile's not good?
No.
I've not looked at it on the mobile.
It doesn't have like a I couldn't find a search thing. I was trying to find
Yeah, that's weird.
because I was going there, and it's just not easy to search.
If
So.
only you had a world where you could use something other than your phone.
Oh man, I always have my work laptop, and anything that isn't aerospace engineering,
Yeah, they can
lock
flag.
that shit down.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll get there, but I mean, I could have walked to fucking Indie Planet by then.
They just recently put new Big Brother spyware
Yeah.
on Missy's computer,
Yeah.
and she doesn't like do a lot of stuff, but every once in a while she like especially through Christmas she'd hit Amazon and look up something, and she said the first thing they looked at when the guy was going through, let's look at your team, and Missy was like Amazon. She's like, son of a.
Damn, she sits down and they go through like her web searches.
It's brand new. They were showing her how to use
how to
it,
work it. Oh,
like,
yeah.
so she could use.
Yeah, that
she's
was
a team lead.
that was me testing it out so I could do it right.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if you guys caught me.
Yeah, good job,
If you take the
spyware.
first letter of each website I visited, it says "got ya." That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Speaking of the coming up with back ass excuses, put a pin in that, and,
Okay.
and we're going to talk about a Hungarian parliament member at the end of this episode.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't see his excuse.
So
but that's funny.
No, I don't think it's his excuse, but it's my favorite one that I invented. But we'll come back to that later. But before we do, let's jump into what I sent for you. And it was kind of last minute. But for those that don't know, we're quite possibly looking at the biggest TV movie event in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Pun intended, because it is Lifetime and KFC are combining to give us a 15-minute masterpiece called.
It is only 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called A Recipe for Seduction.
Yeah.
And it's Saturday. As we record this is a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So it's Saturday, and it is going to be. It's going to air at noon on Saturday. So I'm recording it.
It's going to air at noon?
Yeah. Well,
We're getting prime time?
because right after they're debuting, because it's a day of Christmas movies.
Oh, okay.
It's a brand new Mario Lopez Christmas movie on Lifetime
okay.
right after. But it is essentially. So I put down it's starring Mario Lopez as Harlan Sanders, which is I don't know if that's his real name, but it's a great name.
It is a good name.
And then it also stars, and I put ... who the fuck cares? Because it's Mario Lopez in Graybeard.
Yeah. I didn't catch it at first. Like, I didn't read anything about it. I just saw the picture, and I was like, why the fuck does he look like Colonel Sanders? And then I read that tag, and I'm like, oh, damn, that's funny.
Well, I even shared it when the podcast it came up came up in my feed on Facebook. I shared it on the podcast Facebook page without even reading it. I was like, this can't be real.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what I thought.
Then I watched the trailer. Not only is it real, I mean, its tongue is firmly planted in cheek. They know what they're doing. It's a 15-minute commercial. It's funny. It's poking fun at Lifetime. It's poking fun, and it's right in character with what KFC's been doing with their,
with like Norm Macdonald and all the
rotating colonels.
Yeah.
But it is it the most clever commercial of all time? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I'd love to see the data afterwards to see if there's a spike in like KFC sales.
You know what? Not just that, but I'm going to wager. And if I'd put $100 down. I've got $100 to lose. I could put that down. That it will be the biggest daytime ratings in the history of Lifetime TV.
Oh wow!
Now they've had some evening shows like that Saved by the Bell. Like
Reboot or whatever.
No, not the reboot. They did the Saved by the Bell, the true story, but it was
behind the scenes type thing.
It wasn't behind the scenes. It was people playing them. And so it was,
okay.
They've done that. They've done some other things like
I don't have basic cable anymore, so I don't get Lifetime.
I don't.
I'll be over at noon though to watch it.
I don't even know what channel Lifetime is. I assume I have it.
Yeah,
so.
you're not a 65-year-old woman.
Yeah, I was just telling Missy earlier that it's weird that now at 43, I was going to look when you came in. I was watching wrestling.
Yeah,
and I couldn't find what channel TNT was. 10 years ago, I could tell you what channel everything was on like 4 different providers on Charter, on DirecTV, on all of it. But I can't do it now. I can tell you the 500s are the movie channels.
Okay.
And the 200s are the sports channels.
Is it just 3 numbers or is it 4?
It's just 3 numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Yeah. But that's all I know.
Yeah. I just looked up Mario Lopez's net worth because you said
he's got to be worth a lot. He's
worth $25 million.
Yeah, he's host of host for years and all kinds of stuff.
$6 million salary. That's pretty good.
Wait, $6 million salary. What's that for?
I think he does a daytime. Literally just Googled it. It
Well,
says
he's got-
salary $6 million.
He's got the Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
He's got he's been on like a host of an show like or whatever.
He does an e-show, but he does a game show too.
Yeah, and I think he had Game Show Network or
yeah,
whatever.
I think so.
Yeah.
So the guy hustles.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a real weird thing that it's like that Kevin Hart, that Joe Rogan, that Chris Hardwick, the way he used to be. It's that mentality of, well, not now, you can't say that with Hart and Joe Rogan, but with these guys like Hardwick and Mario Lopez and who's the Carlton, Alfonso Ribeiro.
Yes, thank you. God,
guys
I
that
couldn't
were.
remember it.
Guys that I would never call them like top of the food chain A-list celebrities, but these B-list celebrities
Yeah.
that have carved out just a fantastic
It's a niche
living
market, yeah.
of doing everything.
Yeah, it's like they hustle and everybody's like, oh, I wouldn't want to be Mario. Fuck that, I'd be Mario Lopez.
Wait, you're hot.
Yeah.
I hear he's a pretty good boxer because of some celebrities that go to the same boxing gym. He can dance, and he's AC Slater.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't want to be Mario Lopez, I want to know what your standards for being a celebrity is.
I would almost argue that he's got it better than what's Zach Morris's real name? I can't think of it all of a sudden.
Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Yeah, I'd argue that he's got it better than Mark Paul Gosselaar because he's got like 7 or 8, pokers in the fire at all times. And I listen to a podcast with Mark Paul Gosselaar, and he does a lot of these like ABC shows.
He's tried
or
new
TNTs,
shows, yeah.
and they'll run for a season or two, and he'll get whatever he gets
get
his
paid.
salary. He gets paid, but he can't do anything else while that show is filming. So if he does a 12-episode show on TNT, he can't do a movie, or he can't go to ABC and do a
it depends
drama.
on how their contracts are structured.
So
or whatever,
so Mark Paul Gosselaar's got like 5 small bids going out, but he's still making $25 million a year. You just Mario Lopez, Mark Paul
Either
Gosselaar,
or, they probably both
It doesn't
are.
matter, but he might be only making $2 million a year.
And
I mean,
would-
it's not chump change.
And
but
I would argue too, the other side of that too, the other drawback for being Mark Paul Gosselaar, and don't get me wrong, they both could ride the momentum of their celebrity from Saved by the Bell
yeah, for
forever. But I bet if they both get out of a car and go into a mall, Mark Paul Gosselaar, not only is he not working as much, but he's getting mauled more when he goes out.
yeah, for sure.
Because he's Zach Morris. He was.
you think now.
Oh yeah. I think he's still. I think there's podcasts about how is Zach Morris. There's this great. I can't think of the name of it, but it's some guy. He does the Saved by the Bell podcast with Mark Paul Gosselaar now, and the way that guy got in touch with him to do it is a couple years ago. He did a series of YouTube shows for like Barstool or somebody. Was why is Mark or Zach Morris the worst person on TV? And every episode he showed you how he was in fact the worst person
that's
on
funny.
TV. And there's like all these websites devoted to who's worse, him or Pam from The Office.
Okay, what about Ross from Friends? Because he's there's a whole thing on him too, being an actual terrible person.
Yeah, but I don't know that. I mean, Ross is goofy and dumb. Zach was intentionally bad, and Pam did a lot of intentional bad.
Ross has got that like whiny toxic male mentality type thing. Was
Well,
the
he-
argument that came out of that?
He's a beta male for sure. He definitely.
yeah. But he also like brings everybody around him down.
Oh well, I mean, the very first episode was. Oh,
Yeah,
that was his
yeah,
first line.
yeah.
It's certainly no. All right, all right, all right. It's
Yeah.
not as good.
And also he's had 5 marriages or whatever by the end of the show.
3. He had 3 divorces. That's your thing. Well, so I told you one of the things I told you. I said let's at least just for shits and giggles, and I came up with 4 off the top of my head. I didn't put a lot of thought, but if Lifetime was to extend the fast food mascot treatment to other restaurants. And kind of come up with who would be the good one and what would be the story. And to give you an idea, I just did like a 1-sentence blurb on each story, maybe 2. Do you have any?
I did one.
Let me hear it. I want to know who
You would
did.
do mine first?
Yeah, do
So
your-
I did a Game of Thrones fantasy book epic. I just wrote this one thing down. So it's
I like that I said a Lifetime version, and you come up with HBO version.
yeah, I went straight HBO. So and I think I've done this like 14 times in my life.
Oh.
Like thought about this, but Burger King
Okay.
steals the throne from Ronald McDonald, who was married to Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
And,
so you went you got them all in
I got them all in there, man. But they went away on a trip and they had a daughter, Wendy, and She gets snuck away and raised until of age by a guy named Dave Thomas when when Burger King takes over the throne.
In this world, Dave Thomas is the stepdad or the adopted dad.
Yeah, he's he's the overlord. So Burger King steals the throne from Ronald McDonald, forces Dairy Queen to marry him to keep peace in the land. Wendy is raised, doesn't know her origin story, and Dave Thomas tells her on his deathbed. And she uses a disgraced knight, who is now a jester, Jack in the Box,
Okay.
to retake the throne with the secret recipe of the best fries in the entire world.
Wow. You went hard into
Went
the
hard
Game of
into it.
Thrones.
That was 5 minutes.
The Game of Thrones. It's not a bad one. Well, I
got one other one, but that's all right.
I kept with the Lifetime theme, and I did 4. And we'll start with Wendy, because I did Wendy. And I put Wendy is a story of a redheaded burger mogul's daughter who ran astray into the world of sex working and pornographic movies.
So you went dark too.
Well, because that's what it is. But she only and she loses herself. But in order to become herself again, become the person she was always meant to be, she has to come back and help save Dad's business.
Okay.
And become the face of Wendy, the logo and everything. And,
okay, who's the man who beats her in this?
well, I don't think there's one man. I think it's the industry
It's
beats
just
her.
life in
She got
general.
all hooked on the smack and,
Oh, yeah.
and dick. And she just can't help it.
Real Frank Miller vibe to it.
Yeah. I came up with a Ronald McDonald one. By the time we see Ronald, and it's a flashback, told the story from flashback when you see him, he's a down on his luck, sad clown that was once the on-screen talent for a major children's show. And he comes back to prominence when he finds his second life of the fastest burger maker in the world. And he uses that to create and brings all of his crazy friends that were out of work, the Fry Guys, the Hamburger Grimaces, back with him. And he becomes a Hamburger King.
Okay, is this played by Adam Sandler, who brings all of his buddies from every happy
And they can all
Madison?
play Grimace and everything.
Yeah, that's fucking great. I'm all in. That's Netflix all over it.
I did do a Burger King one, except in my lifetime, it's a mocudrama.
Okay.
And the Burger King is this mythical Forrest Gumpian type figure that shows up throughout history, and it's people trying to figure out what the Burger King actually is.
Oh, okay.
Because he's in the background of
Yeah.
every picture and all this stuff, not saying a word.
Yeah.
And then finally, I finished on Jack in the Box. I said, obviously, he messes up and cheats on Mrs. Box. That's where our story starts.
Yep.
But as it turns out, the burger flipper that he slept with was a plant from a rival burger company chain. Actually, I put a rival fried taco chain because there's little fried
nice.
tacos.
Yeah.
Who drugged Jack in order to seduce him and crumble the Jack in the Box empire. And by the end of like Lifetime does, by the end of it, his wife has to forgive him. They have to out everybody. And yeah, that's how those characters. I'd like to hear other people's take on what is like what characters would be worth watching of fast food. We're sticking with fast food.
Absolutely. There's an artist on Instagram. I'm trying to find him while we're talking. I can't remember his name. I meant to look him up, but I half-ass everything. But he did some superhero type art where he took like Burger King and Jack in the Box and Wendy's. And he makes them like real, if they're real people. And he did like Coke and Pepsi, and they're badass art. His artwork is pretty badass.
Legit artist.
Yeah, and it was pretty neat to see. So I'll find it before the end of this, and you could tag him in the thing.
I think of all of these, the Wendy and the Jack make the most sense for Lifetime.
Absolutely.
Although you've got HBO Max now.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that's a comic book we should write and draw.
I feel like I've thought of that like a million times. You texted me that while I was working out, and I sat down and wrote that, and then I went upstairs and had to go be a normal adult again.
Can you, at any point in your life, remember watching for any extended period of time, and I mean more than 10 minutes, of the Lifetime Network?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my grandma, that's all she ever watched.
I
mean, she still watches it now.
Yeah, I can remember, I don't know if it was my mom, grandma, or, I don't know, girlfriends or something, like watching it. But I can remember once or twice in my life, like sitting down and turning on TV, and it happened to come across the channel. I'm like, oh, what is this? And me not pay attention. It was Lifetime. And then 30 minutes in, I'm like, holy fuck, I'm watching the Lifetime Network.
That's how...
I got to get out of here.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you remember, but that's where Unsolved Mysteries was back in the day. Did you ever watch that?
No, it was a network show back in the day first.
But I thought
it was CBS or NBC. I can't remember.
You're probably right. But I feel like the reruns
it probably
were on
had a
Lifetime
second life there, and now it has its third life on Netflix. Yeah.
Which I haven't watched any of that.
Missy watches it. It's not the same because...
It's all like... It's like supernatural, isn't it?
Well, it's one topic, and it's made for Netflix, so there's no like, back when it was new, there was the phone number you could call, and it was the ongoing.
Yeah. I guess you can't really do that when you got Netflix.
Yeah, it's not like it's a super topical all the time. Like they could really adapt and do it. That was a massive hit. That
and
show
I think it really did. That guy start that show because his daughter was kidnapped and murdered.
It was him or the
other guy. There was another similar.
Yeah, there was
show.
another one which was on. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the other one. I know what you're talking about, though.
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
His daughter was kidnapped and never found.
Yeah, and he started that, and he those shows really saved some people.
Oh yeah, well yeah. But who's name a better? I mean, it's up in the pantheon of great voices for TV.
Oh, yeah.
The Unsolved Mystery guy.
Yeah,
that's
whatever
a great one.
His name is.
Yeah.
He's got to be dead by now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Staying on Netflix since we're there, did you see that Nick Cage has a show coming out on Netflix?
Is it the History of Dirty Words?
Yeah,
Is it that one?
History of Swear Words. Did you watch the trailer?
No, I have not. Not yet.
There cannot be a better this is the role made for Nick Cage. Like this, the trailer is he's leading up to it, and he's just going into this. All of these, there's pictures of fruit all around, so clearly the word's gonna be pussy.
Oh yeah.
And he's just dancing around it beautifully in that weird Nicolas Cage Face Off, fucking all of the dumb movies that he did in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, it's just a picture.
Yeah, well, he's up on Face Off. That's a great John Woo movie.
Is it?
I'd watch it to this day. That movie is acted great by him and Travolta.
I'm not saying it's not acted well.
Trying to act like themselves.
Yeah, that was a good. They did a good job.
The premise is silly, but it was supposed to be.
Yeah. But isn't there a lockdown with boots? And a metal prison.
Yeah,
because
they got magnets that keep.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit thrown on the wall in that movie.
Yeah, well, it's a John Woo movie.
Yeah,
I mean.
There's still some doves.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is made for Nicolas Cage. It looks fucking hilarious.
I tell you this, his next act has been pretty awesome. I've watched Mandy. I've watched Mayhem. I think it was Mayhem with. I could be wrong on it. It's not Mayhem, but the one where for whatever reason parents start murdering their kids.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Both of those movies are really good, and he's the reason they're so good.
Yeah.
He in that crazy role, and there's also the one that's a really weird one I watched on Shudder over Halloween. It's really supernatural, and he's got this big axe, and
I know what you're talking about. I saw the trailer.
Good movies.
There's always that, they always look good. I should watch that, and then I never do.
I've spent some time doing that.
Okay.
That's happened to me, and in the Throw It to Missy segment, that happened to me in the best way possible on a show just now in the last week or so.
Did you see that picture that was traveling around Twitter and Instagram the other day of him? He's dressed. He looks like an old timey he looks like he looks like the Monopoly man walking down the street.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's. That's for the movie or the show, right? Or
no, that's just his going out outfit because his kid's with him, and his kid is in soaking wet UGG boots, gym shorts, and an American flag T-shirt.
I mean, to be honest with you, though, between that and his running crew of Vince Neil and all those guys, that's better.
Yeah.
Than 100 scarves and not looking like you've bathed in 6 weeks.
Yeah, no, he looks super clean. He's dapper as fuck, but he's all dressed up, and his kids, and it's raining outside clearly because these UGG boots are wet from the ankle down.
Yeah.
And I'm he got dressed up and was like, all right, man, we got to go. And the kid comes down in those boots. He's like, don't wear those boots. It's raining outside. And the kid argued with him. He's like, fuck it, let's go.
No, I see. I think I go the other way with it. I think he gets all dressed up and they're about to go out. And he tells his kid, he goes, you know what, go ugly yourself up. I want to be the good looking one.
There's no way, man.
I want to be the good looking one.
As a father of a 6-year-old girl, every fucking time I leave the house, it's, you shouldn't wear that at 7 degrees outside. Or you should put on shoes, put on actual fucking shoes.
That's Hayden with shorts. She
Yeah.
thinks in her head, if it's over 30 degrees, she can wear shorts because she plays soccer in shorts. And she's like, I'm not that cold, but we're like, we're here to protect you.
Well, yeah, and Vera, in her head, she wears the off-brand UGG boots or whatever. So she's like, I don't need to wear socks. These are insulated. Okay, but you're not wearing those UGG boots now. You're putting on tennis shoes. Fucking put on socks.
All right, I'm going to have to ask you a big favor. Can you go move your jacket? Because Louis is scared to jump up on the couch.
I got you.
Because your jacket's in the way. Right. Louis is getting to... You may even need to lift him up because he's getting to be a pain in the butt in his old age. There yeah, see, this couch gives him fits.
Yeah. I mean, he's a little sausage
he's a fat bastard. Any IPA will do. I'm in an IPA kind of mood that's in there. And if I don't have I think there's some Goose Island IPAs and there's some green ones. Yeah, give me one of those. Pretty straightforward. I'll take that bad boy.
Have you tried that Schlafly Winter?
Yeah, it's a good beer. I dig it. It's like a winter haze. It's like a session hazy.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm into it. I think we're going to do a very quick Streets of St. Charles for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
But I think we're going to start it by going to Schlafly because I've yet to go there.
I haven't gone either.
So I think we're going to go hit that and then just get the book and then maybe
Doing
just
that this weekend?
I couldn't tell you when we're doing
Okay.
it. We have a volleyball tournament, 2 soccer games, and supposed to be with Butchman. You know Butchman. His birthday, supposed to do a Top Golf thing, but I think that's all follow. I mean, there's no plans that are concrete in this world.
Yeah,
Not
no.
right now.
I'd say I'd go, but between Vera being 6 and Harry being 3 and the pandemic on top of it, there's just no fucking way.
No. Here's the thing. I love you.
Yeah. You don't want to deal with that.
For now, I'm not doing anything that's involved family and kids or anything,
Yeah.
or even old people. I've done that. With my own extended family, taking some grandparents that could barely get around, like in a wheelchair. Never doing that
fucking
again.
nope.
And little kids, I don't have them anymore. And
No, I don't blame you.
I don't know if you saw recently, a couple weeks ago, Missy found a little pup.
that dog. I heard. You hated
Drove
it.
me fucking insane, man.
It was an adorable little dog.
Oh
but it
yeah,
wasn't
and
my
he
house.
loved me.
Yeah.
But and Louis loved him.
Yeah.
Louis, because he wanted to hump him. In fact, Louis loved him more than Jenkins. Jenkins hated the whole experience.
Yeah, I bet.
Turns out,
Jenkins is not a change kind of dog.
no. He's Jenkins is a very much set in his ways. And even like yesterday, for whatever reason, I don't know if I woke up making a noise, but the entirety of the day yesterday, if he saw me, he'd sprint the other way.
So when I ran out to get my phone because I got my shit together,
Yeah.
he came in, he barked at me. I locked the door, pet him, and then I was heading back here, and he jumped down, jumped up like he was going to bite me. Then I looked at him, and he turned around and took the fuck off. I was like, oh, you're that guy that sucker punches people.
Oh, yeah. Bite you in the ass on the way out. Well, do you have anything else before we? I know it's pretty.
I brought a bunch of random stuff. So
Well, then let's just go with a throw it to Missy and make that a longer segment today.
Okay.
Because I really only have 3 things, and one of the things is something that you actually brought up earlier, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I thought it was hilarious.
you can do it now.
Yeah, we'll just start with that.
Okay.
The people that know that's going around, the celebrity thing that's going around, the something
Yeah.
on something, like the elf on the shelf.
Yeah, it was Patton Oswalt was just going to fucking town the other day.
The Lando and the Mando.
Yeah.
I think
Vader and a tater.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go and meme us out and put it on some. I'm gonna do like one a day and put it on Instagram. Each
Yeah.
one of them, but because that was very funny. I will tell people this, I can't remember who it was, which female celebrity came out with like her name. It was whatever it was the same name on the same name.
Okay.
You are the ultimate at that. You
Yeah.
can do the John Bender on the John Bender.
Well, I didn't know if I could. I didn't see the one you were talking about because the only thing I could think of for myself was like when I said Fender, I just thinking of a guitar.
Guitar, yeah.
'Cause
But Judd Nelson as John Bender is
that's
the best.
Perfect. And then I was thinking like Michael Fassbender, but I'm like, that's kind of
Fastbender on the John Bender.
yeah, that's kind of forcing it.
It works if you say both names.
Yeah,
for
real
you,
fast
for you.
Yeah. But then and then I was bouncing around with Missy.
The flop. We're gonna come up with a good one. The mop on the flop or something like that.
Can't
That's
do mop
pretty
on the
good.
flop. That's sexist. I don't want to do that. But and then I said Clarissa. I was thinking what's her name? Clarissa Explains It All.
Oh
chick.
yeah.
And that was just off the top of my
Melissa Flock or Melissa
Callista
Joan Hart.
Flock-
No,
yeah, Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, Callista Flockhart was. She was Ally McBeal, right?
Yeah,
something like that. I can't. Might not.
And then
make
you're
it.
Cannon on Bohannon.
That's funny.
and
That's
then
fun.
Margaret Thatcher on the Badger.
Yeah, Thatcher on
You
the
could
back.
come up with something better with that one too. That was just
Well, that
I
was a
literally
quick
looked
one,
up.
yeah.
I googled celebrities that run with Badger.
Well, and what's good is I can do like a couple, like with Missy, we can do a Missy and we can do a flop.
Yeah.
And with Tommy, we can do a Tommy and a Badger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I certainly giggled out loud when I was down here setting things up.
And I thought, I think Jay, I think he's earned a spot in this.
yeah, put something on, and his real name's Eugene. I
Yeah.
don't the blue jean on the
You could do
Eugene.
Eugene and Eugene.
well,
Eugene
yeah.
Levy on.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I just cracked myself up by saying blue jean on the Eugene. Not because it's
pretty good,
the
though.
image is not necessarily funny, but saying it out loud is very funny.
I don't know. I feel like we need to put him in like a full blue jean outfit.
let's-
Denim Dan it.
Canadian tuxedo. Let's I'm gonna segue into one more after I say this because I want you to keep that Canadian thing in mind. But
Okay.
with Jay. He listens to every episode, so he'll listen to this because I keep forgetting to invite him. But I am off that week between Christmas and New Year's, so we should try to put in. You should look and see what day you could get away from the wife for a little bit to do a year-end bad beer and do our year-end episode.
Okay, that's got to be a day that I
bad beer.
Picked. Are we getting drunk that day? Are we just gonna?
I don't know how we can't.
Okay, I need to find a ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
let's make Missy drive us home. She'd be real appreciative.
Yeah, she'll love that. Kaylin's got her permit.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Jesus.
Speaking of Canadian, one of the other things I have in my throw it to Missy is, and I put down this, pitter patter, I'll tell you what the matter is. I've waited way too long to watch Letterkenny. I've been watching Letterkenny for the last week and a half.
Loving it?
I don't think that's a strong enough word.
Is it that good?
Here's my notes. It's maybe the most sexist. Possibly one of the most violent, definitely the most drunken and over the top silly shows on TV.
I watched the very first episode.
It is a hard 5 out of 5 for me.
Is it?
A hard 5, and maybe, and I know the hyperbole rule in me.
Yeah.
Maybe the greatest overall dialogue in the history of TV. I mean, every episode is something, and this is something you can't watch with Rachel.
Yeah.
But when you watch it,
she wouldn't like it.
Make sure you got some time to invest in that episode because, like, the beginning of each episode, or like sometimes they do this little rhyme thing that'll explain what happened in the previous episode or whatever, and some of them are like 7 characters and 12 lines per character long. It's like a 4-minute rhyme.
Oh wow!
And you crack up at every turn.
They're dropping the F-bomb in that, right?
Oh, it is.
I thought so.
It's the most non-PC show.
Yeah, I watched the very first episode, and I liked it. I was like, man, this is probably funny, but it was one of those shows that
raunchy
just fell off.
Fun. If there's an episode where it's winter, and they have, first off, Wayne, maybe the toughest guy on the history of TV.
Yeah.
Because he's the toughest man in Letterkenny, which makes you one of the toughest people in the world. And everybody he beats up becomes his friends on the show. That's a slight spoiler.
Okay.
They're because it's a thing. It's a big deal being the toughest guy in Letterkenny.
Well, like the first episode starts out and he's avoiding fighting people, and then at the end he just fucking rips off and just beats the shit out of people.
That whole first season is fights.
Oh, okay.
Is
it set in Canada?
Yes. Yeah, because they go fishing in Quebec, love fishing in Quebec, and they all say Quebec. They say it
just seems like Iowa to me or something.
Well, and then I can't remember what they call them, but there's the degens from the north country, or the up northerners, but the even more north than them. They call them the degenerates from up there.
Okay,
and they know that they're the ones that ruin their fishing shack because of the piss in the snow and the blood. Because everybody knows that degenerates piss outside and pick their nose a lot. That's how they vote. And if there's nothing, so they're wanting to set a trap for them, and they're like, well, what is it? What do we all know about degens? That's what they call them. Well, they're savagely racist. So maybe we could get a bunch of minorities out here, and then they debate the merits of if it's racist to use minorities in order to bait them in, even though the minorities would eventually help pitch in beating them up. Then they determine that, well, maybe, hear me out, they're also homophobic. And so they talk about bringing gay people out. And then one guy goes, and so the heavyset guy, he goes, well, in my women's studies class, out of nowhere, and he starts talking, and then he says, well, the fact that you even say that means you're actually homophobic. And then he pulls a knife, his buddy pulls a knife, because you're a homophobe? So they settle on bringing guys that appear gay but aren't really gay, because they think that's the only way to skirt around not
PC.
being racist or homophobic in order to lure. And so they have a pseudo gay party, and they're all sitting around, and they go, man, I hope this works. We spent all day cleaning up the place so it would look really organized, which a gay party would look like. And they keep talking about all these things they do. And Wayne, the main guy, he goes, man, I tell you what, all the chores that went involved in beating up these degens, it's been a pain in my ass. He goes, if I have to do one more chore, I'm calling the whole thing off. He goes, I just hope they get in close enough to the motion light where it comes on and we can beat them up, and the motion light blows. And they all go, God damn it. It's fucking hilarious.
How many seasons is that?
6.
Oh, wow.
6. I don't know if it's still going. 2019 was the last season.
Okay.
It could be COVID has stopped it. I'm on season 4, and it continuously
It's so stupid. I'm not trying to ruin it for you.
No, you're fine.
But there's a Shark Tank episode
Okay.
where Uncle Eddie died and left Wayne and his sister all his money, but he wanted them to give it to the town. So everybody comes and pitches on why they need the money.
Okay.
But this Bonnie McLaren, I think's her name, and every time she pops, she's smoking hot. And every girl in this is smoking hot.
Yeah. The sister's like crazy at it.
Yeah, well, every time Bonnie comes up, they all go, ooh, Bonnie McLaren. But the first time she pops up on this episode is she's up on a pedestal, like in the foreground of the camera. And
It's like the first time you've ever done this.
yeah, I know. She goes, but I'm so animated.
I
She
know.
goes, but she,
Show's really got you going.
but she's like, she goes, so and so is here to pitch his idea. Like she's really a host.
Yeah.
And Wayne and his sister over there, they go, hey, Bonnie, who are you talking to over there? Oh, nobody, Wayne. Okay, well, thanks for announcing it. And then she does it again for the next. And then he's like, hey, Bonnie, are you going to do this the whole day? Yeah, Wayne. Well, if you want, you can go you need to use the bathroom or get yourself something. You're welcome to go to the house. And she's like, I appreciate that. I'm good. He goes, you don't need a water or anything? Well, maybe I could use a water. And he looks over at his sister and they're off camera and we're good, Bonnie. You just go help yourself. Thanks. And then like, they cut to where they're pitching their idea, and she kind of walks by in this back, and she like looks like she's aware she's on camera, and then scurries off. But it's no camera.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
she just thinks she's on camera
Dude,
trying to get famous.
That's the kind of shit they do. It's insane. There's an episode where she changed. It's a Halloween episode. Every scene they see her, she's in a new costume, and everybody goes, "Oh, nice costume." She goes, "What do you mean?" And like she's in a baseball costume, and they're like, "Surely this is your costume." And Wayne goes, "No, Bonnie, are you going over to the annual baseball game fundraising for the children?" "Yeah, I am." And so it's always something like that to where she comes out and she's in a Native American costume, and the Native Americans that live up there, the Inuits, they come in and they're like, "Okay, first off, you don't go change your outfit. I'm going to beat your ass." And Wayne goes, "Now easy. Bonnie, are you going to the like the awareness for stereotype and cultural appropriation?" She's like, "Yes, I am." He goes, "Well, you have fun with that."
Well, that's good writing.
Oh, dude, man, I've spent the wormhole of looking up what everyone else has been on.
Okay.
Because they're so awesome, and there's some weird shit.
Yeah. So I watched the first episode probably about a year ago, and it's one of those things. Kids come out, and I forget about it. And I'm like, I need to get back to that. But the main character guy was Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne. Yeah.
Has the demeanor of Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards. Especially when Brad Pitt's supposed to be playing the Italian and he just doesn't change character. And
Wayne. the only,
he's got that squinty face.
The only character change he does is when he gets super drunk and it only happens one episode. Everybody hates his laugh. And this dude comes into town who could do all this impressions. And he's over in the corner. He goes, "Hey, Bradley, do your Chris Rock impression. That's the best." And then and then like 5 minutes later, he goes, "Hey, Bradley, do your Wesley Snipes impression. That's the best." I'm going to start ruining it. It is a ton of episodes.
I'll give it a shot.
Hard 5 out of 5. Great. What else do you got?
Couple things that I just posted. Have you seen the cast list for Spider-Man 3?
Not all at once, but as they've been releasing it, I know the biggest new one is Matt Murdock. What's his name, Charlie?
That's not official, but yeah, he's supposed to be in it. Charlie Hunnam,
Charlie Hunnam.
Or Charlie.
I can't remember his name.
It's Charlie Cox.
Yeah, that's it.
Charlie Cox, who was the Daredevil on Netflix show.
And the source that has released it has been right on every casting thing they've ever
he's
released.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
So, in the last 2 days, and this one is confirmed, Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina, which was
Doc Ock
he was
is back.
Doc Ock.
Yeah.
So that is confirmed, but unconfirmed.
You got to be excited, right? That's a
it's
geek
fucking
boner
amazing.
for you.
But I mean, Tobey Maguire, Emma Stone, Kristen Dunst.
Well, there's a lot of people think that this is going to be a prequel to Into the Spider-Verse live action because of Tobey.
Andrew Garfield. They're all in it, and it's just fucking mind-boggling.
Well,
I can't wrap my head around. Is this going to be good?
So I've heard, but remember, just because they're all in it doesn't mean it's going to be major.
Yeah, I don't
and
think
it could
it's
be like the end post credits or something like that.
It could be
because there's a lot of people there's a lot of rumors that the end of the multiverse from
Into the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, the Multiverse of Madness is going to open all this stuff up, and that it and Spider-Man may usher in the mutants, and that Thor: Love and whatever Thunder
Yeah.
is actually going to be Avengers 5.
Oh, okay.
Is a lot of people, and they think that those 3 movies are the big 3 to set up Phase 4.
I guess my biggest thing about it is, and I'm excited for it. Like I'm all for it. This big weird thing, but you think they would really do a Spider-Verse again? I mean, I know Into the Spider-Verse was fucking amazing, and they made a lot of money on it. But just to rehash the same idea on the very next, I guess not the very next movie, but
Well, they're going to do a sequel to the animated movie.
yeah, they are, and there's going to be a Spider-Gwen, and they're going to do all kinds of
But
spinoffs.
the other rumor is that the sequel to the Spider movie, the Into the Spider-Verse, it's actually real. The Into the Spider-Verse, even though it's animated, it's a part of the actual
The real
whole thing.
universe.
And that there was a rumor that there'll be a crossover scene that will unite the Spider-Man
wow.
3 and that.
That'd be fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, literally what Marvel's done and the way they've set it up, the possibilities are endless.
I mean, I'm pretty pumped for the Tobey Maguire Garfield crossover. Everybody online today that I was playing around reading was saying that Emma Stone's gonna be Spider-Gwen.
I don't like that.
I don't see it. I think she's too old.
Yeah, and you need and by the way, Emma Stone, not a natural blonde, and you need a punky.
I would even be all right with
What's that girl from iZombie? The blonde chick from iZombie. She would look like a pretty good one. You know? What I'm
yeah,
talking
she
about?
would. Yeah, I don't know her real name. I think she's almost too old too. But I was gonna say that MJ in the current universe, Zendaya. I think if they switch it up and made her
Yeah.
Spider,
I don't
whatever
want
her
them to do
name
that
is.
either. And she's not really MJ either, so I don't like them doing that.
Yeah, what is her name actually?
I don't know. It's not Mary Jane.
It's not.
Not Mary Jane Watson or Parker.
But I mean, Peter Parker's had a million girlfriends throughout
Yeah.
the universe. But I'm kind of pumped. I'm the one thing I'm excited about is I think Andrew Garfield maybe gets a second redemption because I think of all the Peter Parkers, he's the one who looked and
he was a great actor,
Yeah.
and he is also, with the exception of Tom Holland,
Yeah.
he was also
the youngest.
he was fit.
Yeah.
He was very athletic. Now Tom Holland is acrobatic. and good.
Well, backflips and shit.
Yeah, but that first Spider-Man movie with Andrew Garfield wasn't awful.
No.
The second one was really bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was very Sony.
Yeah,
very
that
much.
is exactly right.
Yeah, and then they just released there was a second trailer for the Morbius movie.
Oh, I haven't watched
A little bit more.
Yeah, I
It's the
haven't watched
Japanese version of the trailer, and Jared
So it's
Leto's
got like
doing
3
stuff.
extra scenes.
Yeah, and it doesn't look great, but it's in there. Like you can see Spider-Man in the background. It's got murderer on it, or written on the.
So I still have not watched Venom,
Oh, really?
but I'm excited to see. I think Woody Harrelson as Cletus Cassidy is a pretty good casting.
It is a good
choice.
casting. Venom is very fine. I would put it in Marvel Phase 1 of quality of movies.
Yeah.
Like Tom Hardy's pretty sweaty the whole time, but the back and forth with Venom is pretty good.
Yeah.
The plot is very thin.
Venom is a lot to me, even if that one is okay, because that one didn't get bad reviews. It made a lot of money. Venom is
It made $1 billion, yeah.
It is a lot like Fantastic Four, something that no one has got right.
No.
Now, if the rumors that they're really trying this Fantastic Four thing, and if it is John Krasinski, that's a good early pick.
Yeah, that is a solid. He looks great in a beard.
Yeah, I think the problem with a Fantastic Four movie, and I know this is going to sound silly when we're talking about, all the characters that we've seen on screen, and I love Fantastic Four, so please don't hold your hate for me. I'm not saying that they're silly, but of all the superhero teams, they're the silliest seeming in terms of what you have to pull off.
Yeah.
A stretchy guy.
Yep.
When that's your go-to, and I do realize they pulled off a lot of CG characters and stuff. Iron Man CG.
Yeah.
But it's more practical. He's a robot uniform, he's a suit. But the stretchiness, it's campy, but even if you try it serious, it seems to be a hard one to pull off. Now, Invisible Woman and The Thing are kind of cool, and Johnny Storm is okay, flamed on and stuff, but you just throw them all together, and it seems it's a lot. Like, at least with the Avengers, we had some... It's not weighted with... You have to CG everyone on the Fantastic Four.
And you have to... It's a lot of origin story And even if you don't want to go with the origin story, it's a lot of.
Well, one thing Marvel's done well since Phase 1 is ended is piss on doing the origin stories. Is they've summed them up quick. Do that.
Yeah, they
Let's
need to
go
do
in a
that.
world where the Fantastic Four are already established.
Yeah, I think if they were going to do it, and I think you could do the stretchy stuff like you don't watch The Flash on CW,
No.
but Elastim guy or whatever his name is in the
There's Plastic Man and there's
it's not Plastic Man, it's like Elastic
Yeah,
guy.
it's Elastic Kid or whatever.
Alfred something or other. He's off the show now because he had some sexist or racist tweets from way back in the day, so they left him.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But anyways, they do a pretty good job on the CW with his practical effects for its TV, so I'm sure they could get something done where it's not terrible. But I think they should do, if they're going to do it, and they will eventually, it's got to be like a Lost in Space type thing. Like, they should already be established as like a family, just like
Swiss
bouncing
Family
through.
Robinson.
Yeah,
Their
Swiss Family
adventures,
Robinson, Lost in Space, like bouncing around. I don't want a million kids, and you can get rid of that gargoyle. He's fucking weird. I never figured out what the gargoyle was for. Who's kind of like their babysitter / butler.
Oh, yeah. Then that hasn't always been there. So
Yeah, it was just in the last, like,
yeah.
I don't know, 15 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that bounce around, if you did Lost in Space style stuff, I think you could pull it off.
It seems like it would be the easiest of the movies to do a family adventure movie with superheroes.
Yeah.
But no one has got it right.
Yeah.
The Cronenberg style was awful.
It could be like a Shazam type
Yeah, Shazam was fine. It's a fine movie.
movie. Do you bring Doom in on that though?
If you don't bring Doom in first, you could bring in Mole Man first or something like that since that was
Yeah.
their first villain. But
And like it's supposed to be campy and kind of ridiculous. I just feel like Doom's a little heavy-handed for a family.
Well, what you do is you could, if you're going to bring them into the Marvel universe, and you do need a next big villain. There's nothing to say it has to be a universe expanding, threat villain. But you could, by the end of it, set up Doom, and he could be the next big bad for Avengers for Doom.
yeah.
All of because Doom should be that big.
I think they've alluded to him, and if
Yeah,
you
they've
listen-
alluded to him.
and they've also alluded
Kang,
to Namor.
Namor, and then Kang the Conqueror is another one that I've. In fact,
Which one's Kang?
He's the time traveling guy, and he's really the only guy that really has beat the Avengers a lot.
Okay, is he the one with a bunch of heads?
No, he's green and purple.
But he's got like a spinny block looking head, right?
It looks like it should, but it doesn't. Yeah,
yeah. He looks like a He-Man bad guy.
he does. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I know
a
you're
very good
talking
look.
about.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him though.
Sticking with movies and all that good stuff, I believe that I am actually going to go see Wonder Woman 1984 in the theater.
Are you?
Yeah, it's roughly $198 to rent the theater for 20 people. I think we're going to take Hayden's softball team
Oh, nice.
to go do it. You can only have 20 people.
Okay.
13 girls, the 4 coaches at 17. I don't think
perfect.
all the coaches or all the girls will go, so some siblings might be able to get a chance to go.
If you got some extras, let me know. I'll take Vera.
We're going to do it
Angie
that
and Maya,
week
if you
in
want to go.
between.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, man.
Most of the extras will probably go to teammates, siblings, or something.
Yeah, I got you. But if there's extras, I get it.
$200 for 20 people.
That's not bad.
It's the best thing.
And you're going to a good cause, paying some people that are trying.
Yeah, try to stay afloat. And it's the only movie option there is.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
that's the only one that like you go to pick. You sign up for it. You go to pick your movie.
yeah.
It's Wonder Woman. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming out
Christmas Day
Christmas Day on HBO Max
and in
then-
theaters. Yeah.
and in theaters, and then everything that, like, I want to see that one. I would like to see Dune in theater. I think.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about that real quick too. A lot of directors and actors and everybody are up in arms.
I mean, what are you going to do though? I mean, these studios need to make their money at some point.
That's just it. The studios are going to make their money, but all the back end is not making money for the people that actually made the movie, which what their contracts were based on.
Yeah.
And even though
So it's a real Lucasfilms type situation.
Who was it that really just came out today? Oh, Keanu Reeves, not him, but his management team and his representation. They came out today and lobbed a fit too, and they said Keanu, who's been big, legendary Warner Brothers, one of their biggest actors.
Yeah.
His movie that he's doing is going to come out the same
Matrix.
way. Oh,
It's Matrix 4.
Yeah, well, and they took Gal Gadot and what's the director's name? What's her name?
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Anyway, they paid them like $25 million to let it go to
Yeah.
just saying, hey,
But they
we're-
didn't do that with everybody else.
They did not do it with anyone else.
They can't. There's no way.
Well, then well, they shouldn't do it for anyone. Like, they didn't have to. I get why they did, but you have a lot of people. I mean, it's like, well, how do you justify it? Do you say? And I'm not. Trust me, we've talked about this in the show a million times. This is not me being sexist. I'm sorry, people, if you don't. It seems like a move, an anti-sexist move, to give the two women. Because if you just break it down, you look at who's made you the most money over the year, and you keep them. I mean, how do you judge who gets it and who doesn't? Is what I mean.
I see what you're saying, but I think from a business perspective in the DC universe, Wonder Woman is their most liked DC universe property.
It and Shazam.
Yeah, but I think Wonder Woman made way more than Shazam did.
Well, yeah, maybe. I'm sure Wonder Woman did. Well, actually, every one of them has made money.
Yeah,
They've
but
not-
I mean, and Aquaman did pretty well. People liked that. It was a little campy, but Wonder Woman was pretty solid. And it's been in the can for almost a year now. Like, it was supposed to come out.
Oh, yeah,
it's been done for
this-
probably 2 years. It's
this-
been in the can for a year.
Well, this summer was its release.
Yeah, it was supposed to be out this
Yeah.
summer. So it's sitting there. If they're going to do a third, if they're going to do another phase,
It's-
they got to get moving.
Well, no, I get that, but what they didn't have to do is give that money. Just pick this people to give the money to.
I think that they did because
No,
they needed to get it going.
No, there was nothing contractual that said they have to give them money. No, I'm telling you, that's the
I
story.
know what you're saying. But
They're saying you're not getting back in, so here's a big sum of money that we're saying we're sorry. But they've got
But I
all
think
these other movies that are going to do that.
But
come
I
out.
think that business decision was made earlier than the rest of these movies, and then they made a business decision later that said,
we are completely in disagreement because I think it was all for show. It was all.
I mean, I'm
show.
sure it was 100% for show,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, out of the gate, like, you guys are going first. You know, you're the first ones through the can. We're going to pay you well.
don't
Everybody
even
else,
think it's
sorry,
that.
it is what it is.
I think it's that you got a strong female lead and a strong female director, and it makes us look great to pay them.
I mean, yeah, that's possible. Christopher Nolan just refused to let Tenet just go
Yeah.
to the. He probably could have gotten paid well too, but it's not about the money for Christopher Nolan.
No,
it's about
no.
like the experience of the theater, and I get that. And I hate the fact that I can't go to the theater. I don't even go that often. I maybe see 3 or 4 movies a year,
Yeah,
but when
maybe.
I go, I fucking
but
love
they're
it.
big ones.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
always
we
the big ones. Like this new model coming out of this is going to make like the independent comedies and the independent dramas and stuff are going to do great on Netflix. They're going to do great on Hulu. That's a new like world for that. Like the Aubrey Plazas and the
Louis licking him.
licking
Louis,
himself.
stop. Okay,
just
Dad.
say it. I mean, we say
Well,
fuck all the time. You
yeah,
just be like,
no.
your dog's pleasuring himself on the couch. I get it.
No, that's not what he's doing. He's licking his paw.
Oh, gotcha.
I think he's got slight skin irritation.
Yeah, like eczema or something.
Yeah, but if you stop him, it has no problems. But
Yeah.
if you let it go unchecked, he'll lick it
Just
crazy.
put Vaseline on there. They don't like that.
Oh, I bet Louis would eat the shit. Look at that dog. Louis would eat anything. Yeah, I think Keanu Reeves' people came out and they really highlighted.
I mean, I get it. It's a shitty situation, but
I would love to set in a meeting and know why they chose those
I get
two.
what you're saying, and like the things that bother me about it mostly, like and I'm looking from a fan perspective, is that Dune movie is the same director. I forget his name, who did Blade 2049.
Oh yeah. It's
And nobody made that movie. Didn't make money, but it's fucking great.
it is a great movie and it did flop. Yeah.
And Dune's probably not going to make any money. Well, it definitely won't now.
I'll say this: Dune has a pretty big following of readers.
Do you know anything about it? I know
Absolutely,
nothing
yeah.
except for
I've
a
read-
giant fucking worm.
I read the first book.
Okay.
I've not read all of them. Hikus is a massive fan, and he would tell me about them when we lived together back in
Okay.
college and stuff.
How many, is there like a ton of books?
I think, if I can remember, Frank Peretti, who wrote Dune, I believe that's his name.
I'll fact check you.
I think, or no, or is it H? I can't remember. Anyway, he wrote the first 3 or 4, and then his family, like, handpicked his estate, handpicked a guy to continue on.
Okay.
Yeah, just type Dune; it should pop up.
I'm not on your Wi-Fi, and my phone is dragging ass.
Do you need me to do it?
Yeah. Google how many.
I'll just click the old Dunes. Well, you talk about something while I click the old.
There's at least 9.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That's it. That's ridiculous.
They run from 65 to 2007.
I was thinking about catching up on.
I lied. It's 8. It
I
looks
was-
like 8.
Yeah, I was thinking about catching up on The Expanse.
I hear it's one of the best sci-fi movie or TV shows of all time.
I've tried.
Oh, Frank Herbert.
I've
He's
tried
a different guy.
3 times to watch The Expanse, and I cannot fucking get into it.
Oh.
My neighbor, though, he loves it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some very credible sources, including friends of the show like Dusty Dean and the Dean of Rap, and they all love it. Conway, my buddy Conway, dig it. I talked to a soccer dad this past Monday night who said it's his favorite sci-fi show of all time.
How do people get past Thomas Jane? That's my honest question, because
I didn't even know Thomas Jane was in it.
he's in it, and he's just...
I like Thomas Jane fine enough.
I don't. He's
good.
not good. And it's not that and it'd be fine if he was just in it, but he wears like this stupid detective hat, and he's got like this like sad haircut that I cannot stop focusing on every time he's on screen. Now, eventually, I think he goes away. My neighbor said he like disappears after the 2nd season or something,
Okay.
but I can't get past him being in it, and I hate his character.
Okay.
So I just can't get past it.
He's been in a lot of stuff, and some stuff I've really liked of him, and some stuff I haven't.
Yeah.
He was Mickey Mantle. He was great as Mickey Mantle. He was.
He did that Hung show, and that show was fine.
Missy and I enjoyed it. He was actually not the worst Punisher. And
it was technically okay.
that movie had some moments.
Yeah.
Definitely was a better outing than previous Punishers or other Punishers that have been done. By the way, you weighed in recently, and I feel like this is pertinent to interrupt the podcast for, about a podcast that the Flop would enjoy.
Oh yeah, I thought she was going to be here to see if she did that.
Well, you did that. She's just texted that she is sitting in the parking lot waiting on Kaylin's volleyball to be done. She said, trying out this podcast. So far, meh. That was her exact. She's a hard one to win over, man.
I've listened to
I'm the exception in her world.
Yeah, I mean, once you're in, though, you're in.
Yeah, well, I mean, then you're trying to get out.
Yeah, she doesn't like change. I listened to a couple of if we're gonna go down that. Oh, she did text it to me.
Yeah. Well, let me bring up this, and then you can finish strong. I did mention this earlier, so let's pull the pen out and talk about Hungarian anti-gay parliament member. Anti-gay.
Yeah.
In fact, responsible for many anti-gay laws and things of that nature.
And if you look at this guy, he looks like an MMA fighter. And also, you would assume he was gay.
Monster neck hair.
Yeah.
So parliament member, he was caught in the middle of a 25-man gay orgy. And what's funny about that phrase is the more words you add to it, the more aggressive it gets.
Yeah.
It's an orgy. Oh, it's a 25-man orgy. Oh, it's a 25-man gay orgy. Oh, that person, it gets harder as it goes.
Yeah.
It's funny is that police were responding not to an orgy, but to a gathering that was violating COVID rules, restrictions. My favorite part of the story is that in the police report, it says the police walked into a scene of, and they quote, a party of legs straight up and everywhere. So nobody.
Hey, get where you can, man.
Yeah. The party. Here's my thing about the story. We don't have to dwell on it for too long. I do want to pose a question to you. He resigned.
Yeah.
That's his punishment. Is he resigned?
Is that his punishment?
That's
it's
it.
Hungary.
It was. I mean. Yeah,
they got pretty strict anti-gay laws there. I believe.
He's tried pushing for it.
Yeah,
he resigned. And I know I don't know what law I'm looking for here, but when we have politicians, and it's happened in the United States, and much more to much more stronger extent, like evangelical preachers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All these people that have been caught like doing things like this.
Yeah.
Not necessarily 25 men in the basement of a bar. That's it. The more you add to the story, the seedier it gets.
Yeah.
Hairy men, because they're in Hungary.
I would say that it's less bad because they're all consensual adults. So.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I from that point, hey, if they're gay and that's their bag, man, get off on it.
Some of the guys that get caught in the U.S. are not
lecherous. Yeah. But my thing is when you're caught like this and you have such a bold stance the other way. I know there's no law that's about, but could you somehow make perjury like you're clearly lying in a lawmaking capacity or a leadership capacity? That should be punishable by law.
I think it should be,
The hypocrisy law should be invoked or something.
Yeah. Again, to bring back Glorious Bastards, I'm not saying you put a symbol on their forehead, but Maybe
had to carve it in with a Bowie knife.
Just tattoo hypocrite across their chest.
Yeah.
Just
You know,
that way in the future, people are like, what the fuck's that about? I'm like, I was a huge asshole at one point in my life.
California, Governor Newsom in California.
Same with that fucking
That guy who shut that state down left and right.
And it's not like it fucking gets that cold there.
And he goes to a restaurant.
French Laundry.
And, very famous restaurant.
Yeah, they're famous and fancy.
They say one of the best restaurants in the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then he lies to us and says, well, we stayed outside socially distanced. And then, lo and behold, he didn't think people were going to take pictures of it.
Well, yeah. And then
inside, chilling, no distance, no mask, nothing. And by the way, real quick, this is the same guy suggested you wear masks while you eat. You pull it down to take a bite and put it back up while you chew. When you're that big a hypocrite, you should at least have your ass kicked.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's the same as the governor of San Antonio was saying, like, oh, don't leave, stay at home, blah, 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 nobody do anything. And I am 100% on board with stay inside as much as you can. Don't risk anything. Order from small restaurants. Tip big. This guy was saying all that stuff from fucking Cozumel. Like, and he was on, Cabo San Lucas or something. He was on a beach somewhere else.
He was confused because, parts of Texas are essentially Mexico. So he didn't know.
Yeah, just that flight. I woke up and I was here.
So we made a joke earlier about, what was it? We made a joke about the guy that was, we at the beginning of the podcast where we said to cover up for something.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like this Hungarian parliament minister should said, but I made them write their names down. It's a sting operation.
I'm an inside guy. Yeah, I'm the inside man.
Apparently, he tried to jump out the back window or something. But I guess this was a setup. Ha, you're all busted.
Yeah.
But you literally sucked my dick, bro. That's how far I'll go to prove gay people are bad.
So why are you covered in lube?
Well, should we put a ultraviolet light on you? Will you have some sticky stuff? Yeah. That's so retarded.
It is
sorry to use that word for it, but it's ridiculous.
It's just like it's 2020. Like,
yeah, go be gay. Go be happy orgy gay.
Like, can we just get to a point where it's like, you do you. If it doesn't affect me, I don't fucking care.
I was just watching. I think it was a Michael Che stand-up thing on a Just for Laughs Facebook page, where he goes, "I'm for equal rights. I shouldn't have to say that though. That's a weird thing." He goes, "It's silly to say that everyone should have the same rights. Like, that's an odd thing to say." Yeah. And if you haven't seen that little clip, it's hilarious because then he goes on to about talking about gay people. He goes, I had friends or people I know that would say, yeah, what if we let them marry? What's next? They're gonna want to marry animals? He goes, I don't give a shit. He goes, I eat animals. I think if I was to ask a goat which one is worth, hey man, I'm gonna cut you up into pieces and eat you, or I'm gonna let that gay farmer over there suck your dick. I think he'd choose the animal sex. It's far less evil to have sex with him.
Yeah, that's a good time for him, maybe.
Yeah. So that's all I got. Everything else is on you.
I brought a couple of the little quick hits. Did you see the PlayStation 5 debacle in the UK right now?
No, what is it? I
so, like, everybody that's ordering PlayStation 5s, they're having trouble delivering them everywhere. They're short supply.
Yeah, PlayStation knows what it's doing. It's kicking the shit out of Xbox. What it's doing.
And it's but there is a robbery operation that is straight out of Fast and the Furious.
Oh, that's awesome.
The first one, where these guys box in the car or the truck carrying the PlayStations. One guy lines up behind it, jumps onto the back of the truck, opens it up, throws the PlayStations to the guy behind him in the car, and then they close the door, and then they all drive off.
I gotta watch this video.
They don't have any video of it, but it happens over and over again. Apparently, it's I'll pull it up. I forget the name. Let's say popped up right away. But it's a move, like a drafting move, where they'll box the truck in so he can't turn, and then one guy jumps into the back.
It's like what they call it, the swoop and stop in the United States.
It's called a rollover in Europe.
Okay, yeah.
And that's crazy. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
more power to you.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for whatever version of Target is in Europe. I'm sure it's probably just Target.
It's Target. It's already French. Yeah. Well, for two things about, that's awesome, one, but two things. I saw where a dude won an eBay auction for a PS5, and it got to him, and it was brick inside it.
That was the other thing that's the problem is they can't stop people with the packaging plants from stealing them and selling them for thousands more dollars online.
And then 2, apparently PlayStation is just outperforming and beating the dog shit out of Xbox. And by the way, the Series X, neither has that many games.
No.
But the thing is, and what they've said is that it's very typical for a video game developer when they're creating a new system is to, as soon as they got the operating system and the specs up and running, they give access to the video game companies to start designing the games. For the first time ever, Xbox did not let them do that. And on paper, Microsoft didn't. On paper, Xbox, everybody thought, well, it's more powerful than the PS5. But in performance, it is not, because I guess game developers have been in lockstep with Sony every step of the way, and Microsoft didn't let them do it. And there's a lot of people that are calling the Xbox like the Xbox 1.5 instead of like Series X.
Yeah.
And that everybody said the PS5 is almost like a PS6. It's so awesome.
Huh. I mean, I don't know much. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get this at all. Like, maybe.
I just saw a game called Godfall on the PS5, so I'm getting a PS5 in like March or April when it calms down.
Are you really
going to
get it?
Fuck yeah.
Like, I got
a kid that's a gamer, so.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you got a kid that's a gamer. Like, Jeremiah's, he's all about the Xbox. Him and his crew of guys, they're all Xbox dudes. They're all going to get the Xbox. And I'm just waiting for one to pop up, because that's basically his birthday gift.
Because that one has a higher rate of smoke than the PS5 also, too. And, I mean, it's very small. But you always wait for the first wave to get the bugs gone.
And that was the thing. He's like, can we pre-order it? I'm like, no, man. We'll get another one in a couple months. Like, I want the first, like, the bugs all worked out. The red, I think it was the Ring of Death in one of the Xboxes.
The Xbox 360 or
there was a 360. And I think the last one didn't have as much of a problem. But I don't know if I'll get the PlayStation 5. I'd like to, but it's got to have a good set of games. I just got back into playing games during lockdown, and I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah, that one's got a good. That's a PlayStation game.
Man, yeah, it's on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
because I have a PlayStation 4. I have a PlayStation 4, and then I just bought the Star Wars Rebels.
Oh yeah,
the TIE Fighter and X-Wing game.
And you love it?
It's okay.
Looks cool, huh?
It does look a lot cooler, and the battles are fun. And I'm not an online guy. Like, maybe I'd like it better if I was online.
Yeah, I don't do online.
Flying an X-Wing is a pain in the fucking ass. Like, it is.
Not if you're a Jedi.
No, the X-Wing is the bad guys.
No, it's not.
No, the TIE Fighter. I'm sorry. The X-Wing's fine. The X-Wing is like every other.
You single-handedly just irritated the entire internet.
Yeah, I did. That was my fault. I'm 2 beers deep, guys. But I mean, flying a TIE Fighter is fucking awful.
Two quick things about it. One, what about the PlayStation? We were just talking about something. Well, it wasn't 2 quick things. I lost it. I was listening to your story. I will say this though. Let's just stick with
on games real quick. I got a couple things I can hit.
All right, well, let's go. Let's jump. Let's jump.
Did you ever play Metal Gear? Any of them?
Oh,
First
yeah,
one,
love
second
them,
one?
love them.
Did you see the movie Oscar
Isaac?
Oscar Isaac's gonna be Metal Gear.
I'm in.
I'm in because I mean the last.
A lot of people said Joe Manganiello looked more like Solid Snake, but Oscar Isaac's a better actor.
I mean, he could be like Liquid Ocelot. And
whatever.
Be badass too.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pumped for it. I hope it's as weird as like the first couple games are. Like, I just want to be off the fucking walls.
Oh yeah.
And who's the director that did all the Resident Evil movies?
Oh,
Wes Anderson.
no,
not Wes Anderson. It's
Milla Jovovich's husband.
Yeah, it's like Jake Paul W.S. Anderson or something like that.
Yeah.
He's got. Did you see that trailer for that Monster Hunter movie where she's in it?
And it's banned in China.
Is it?
Yeah, because there's a line in the movie that says, "Hey, what kind of knees are these?" And the guy goes, "Chinese," and it's a joke. And so China.
It's kind of a low blow, though.
And the director pulled it off, but it is a tongue-in-cheek joke.
It is a tongue-in-cheek joke.
And I think those jokes should be allowed.
I think it'd be fine.
But China's China, man. They don't get down with that shit.
I just assumed that they said that the monsters.
I want to see
China.
the movie.
I do too. That was the thing that I wanted to say. Is like, I'm in. Like, the big stupid monsters look pretty good, and like the dumb swords. I never played the game once. I heard it's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely want to see it. I gotta tell you, this is not a popular opinion, but I don't hate the Resident Evil movies. I love them for what I like them for what they are.
I liked the first
silly,
one.
stupid movies that do enough to get a sequel. And I I watched the fucking Trimmer movies on Netflix.
Hey,
and they're awful too.
Wait, did you watch the new one?
Yes.
Are they on an island or are they in the ice?
They're
in
on
this
an
one?
island.
Okay, so there's one before that
Yeah.
I didn't know existed where they're on the ice.
Yeah, it's a Tremors movie on ice.
Okay, Tremors 2 is the one with the little raptor-looking
where
ones?
they come out of the ground.
That's fucking good. That's a good movie.
Tremors 1 is a masterpiece.
Tremors 1 is great.
But 2's good.
2 is a solid for a USA movie or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is a solid fucking movie.
I look at Resident Evil the same way I look at those. I enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah.
Are they great? No. Are they even really good? Maybe not.
Maybe.
But do they make me feel like the kid that stayed up late on a Saturday when my mom
watched
was off
terrible
doing
movies?
something? Yeah, that's what they make me feel like. Oh, I know what I was going to say about the PlayStation. It even got a little SNL parody over the weekend with
Stu? This is Stu?
yeah, Pete Davidson as Eminem, and
It was good. Did you watch it?
Oh, it was hilarious, dude.
And then Eminem came in at the end.
Santa Claus's response was the better. You built all the build
wrong
up.
number. Wrong
yeah,
address.
this is not the wrong address. And they were all like, "Oh, damn."
Yeah, that's pretty good. I thought it was fucking funny.
Yeah.
His raps are pretty good.
Yeah. The last thing I'll have, and it wasn't anything I wrote down, but since you brought up Star Wars, I guess we should also talk and give our weekly Mandalorian.
I'm all caught up, by the way.
Our weekly Mandalorian update. Bigger internet boner. Seeing Rosario Dawson bringing live action. What's her name?
Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, Ahsoka Tano, or
It's
actually
Boba Fett.
seeing Boba Fett
It's Boba Fett.
beat ass. Beat ass.
Is it the first time that a stormtrooper's armor has ever been shattered? Like, through all the movies?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, like, he was fucking smashing faces.
And he used his rocket on his back.
yeah. I was like, he's got to use the rocket, right?
Everything about it was awesome.
Yeah, everything.
So here's my not fear, because I trust Favreau and Filoni and whatever they do right now
Yeah.
at this point. And that was Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, that was
directing it.
Rodriguez.
And a last minute change.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the director, and they won't say who it is, but the original director backed out at the last minute. And luckily, Jon Favreau is so famous that he's like, "Hey, I'll call my buddy Robert." And they're like, I see him sitting around a meeting. He goes, "I could get my buddy Robert to direct." And they're like, "Oh, great, John. Robert who?" "Well, Robert Rodriguez." "Oh, okay." And he calls him up, and he's like, "Yes, I'll do it." And Robert Rodriguez said when he read the script, he was like, "Are you sure this isn't fan fiction? I get to do Boba Fett." His name, he's like the Darksaber. He gets to recycle a joke that'll put your eye out.
Yeah.
What?
And this is a good season. And I thought the Carl Weathers directed episode before that was really solid, too.
I'm excited about Bill Burr coming back.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I thought he was a one and done character.
Of all the comedians and actors that sign up to do, is he like a secret Star Wars geek? Because he's that straight laced sports guy, tough Boston guy.
I think everyone's a secret
I think so, too.
Star Wars geek. My only fear, and this is where I was about to go with it, and I don't know that it's a fear because I trust those guys, but I will say this. His ship was destroyed.
Yep.
So I don't see a way. I mean, I'm sure they can do it. I can see a way, but it appears like they're making it like it's going to be the three of them going on a mission, probably to face Moff
Well, they
Gideon
have
and
to.
get him. I know, but it's a weird direction for the series to take, to put Boba Fett and what's her name, the assassin,
I don't know.
to put them all together, and it seems like it's very against the lone guy image.
Yeah, the wolf and cub look.
Here's my thing. Here it is. Boba Fett is such an enormous character that it almost dwarfs what the show has been.
Yeah.
But then Ahsoka Tano was also the same way. It's like this season, the only thing, and I don't think it's a misstep, but the only, I guess, negative you could say is every special guest has been bigger than the show itself.
Yeah.
It's what,
And I personally think that that's Disney saying, testing the waters for a spinoff of Ahsoka Tano, a spinoff of
I don't
Boba
know that
Fett.
it's a spinoff, but Rosario Dawson just signed a 3 to 5 movie deal with them.
Did she?
As her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she just said, "I'm in for 3 to 5 movies." So.
If you watch, and I know you haven't, but if you watch all of Clone Wars, you watch Star Wars Rebels, Ahsoka Tano is a solid character that is probably the Star Wars nerds that aren't sexist assholes. She's one of a fan favorite.
Oh yeah, I could see
She's got the most growth out of any character in the Star Wars universe altogether. And Rosario Dawson looks fucking great as her. I would like to see something like like a lot of her in between years, between walking away from Anakin and the badass that she is later on.
Did we make the joke? Did I make the joke on here on air, or did I make it off? You listened to the AC Daniel episode.
Yeah.
Did I make the sex joke about Rosario Dawson on air?
I don't think
the sex doll joke.
I don't think so.
So I've always
I didn't catch it, you
Missy
did.
gives me monster shit for being super into Rosario Dawson her whole career. Like I think she's one of the sexiest women alive. And Missy said she was talking about Christmas presents, and she goes, "Well, I ordered you something from Russia." She goes, "I ordered something and I didn't pay attention to where it was from. It was like Russia." And I go, I joked and I go, "That's funny. I thought you were about to say that you ordered me why I don't know why I popped in my head a sex doll from Russia." And she goes, "I would never do that." I said, "Yeah, but in my head, I instantly said, and you also had it look like Rosario Dawson." And then I giggled, and she goes, "What are you laughing at now?" I said, "I would name her Rosario Dawson." That's my whole, like, if I ever buy a sex doll, it will look like Rosario Dawson, and that will be the doll's name.
Well,
So know that if
there
Missy
goes my political career.
should she ever pass away, that's the route I'm going. Seems cheaper in the long run.
You saw Dave, right?
Yes, yeah.
That's my show of 2020.
I can't wait for it to come back. Yeah, I can't wait for it to come back. Anyway, anything else you got?
Nothing that's worth bringing up. I think we spitballed, and
Well,
I think we'd kill it if I did anything else.
One more shout out then to Jay and you. Look at your
Come
schedule.
on, man.
Look at your schedule. Try to find and I can always bring him in, and we can just do an episode together.
Yeah, we do that. But I mean, the beer thing. Did we decide it was a weekday?
Yes, because we're all off. You and
It'll
I
probably
are
be a
off.
Thursday then.
Thursday works for me. Thursday I
Okay,
can absolutely
'cause,
make happen. Yeah.
Rachel's also off. and she
Thursday's
can
actually
pick me up.
the best day, I think, for me.
Thursday's the only day that she's definitely off.
Is that Thursday the 30th? Is it by?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking calendar.
Well, it's New Year's. So New Year's
it?
Eve. I think. Look it up real quick.
The Thursday is a Saturday in January.
No, we're not talking about January. We're
The
talking
30th is a Saturday in January. We're talking about December.
December. Yeah, you goof.
Oh, sorry. That's a Wednesday.
Okay.
New Year's Eve, the 31st,
Yeah.
is a Thursday.
The only thing I have going that Wednesday is it's for our softball team's fundraiser. It's a Pickleman's fundraiser night. So 50% of Pickleman's profits from 4 to 8 that night. So you got to go eat at
fucking
Pickleman's.
love Pickleman's.
And it's going to go 50% of the proceeds go to Sting softball.
Okay.
Last thing I'm going to do before we close off, speaking of Sting softball, we're doing a fundraiser t-shirt, and I'll put it all up online and try to ask everybody to buy it. It's going to most likely go through Basler Screen Printing, Matt F. Basler of
that's
Matt
cool.
F. Basler fame of the
That's awesome.
podcast of the same name. I don't have anything else then.
I don't either.
No Let's Go Blues because he's not here, and no Missy to close it out, but you can always tell us.
Hold on to your butts.
And I will play the music.